Hello, Uta Hagen of Uta Hagen channel here. I'm giving you an update. Now, firstly, it's my hat. I'm so pleased it gave me such a chuckle when I saw that Exulansic uh, posted in the beginning of one of her recent Isle of X, that's AISLE of X, or Isle X channel on YouTube. One of her recent posts, she had a picture of herself somewhere in the Hudson Valley wearing my hat. Now, that's because I didn't think her hat was warm enough. And so I said, I think you should loan my hat. You should borrow my hat. And it's got a lovely little mother of pearl pin on it. And I think, X, that you look much more wonderful in that hat than I do. But that just was such a pleasure to see that. So I have some updates. My Twitter status remains unclear. They send me emails almost every day saying either I am permanently suspended because I did things in an automated way and I did things repeatedly and I started new accounts, none of which are true. And then the other ones are saying, oh, how can we help you? We see that your case isn't resolved yet. So I really have no idea. If anybody knows Elon Musk's address in this small town in Texas where he has a very modest three-bedroom house, I want to send him a copy of my memoir, In the Curated Woods, True Tales from a Grass Widow, because I think that he might relate to this, considering how he's been kind of looking into the influence of cross-sex ideating individuals who now work for him, or maybe don't work for him, at Twitter. We will have a new story series for Ariel, whose husband, for some reason, decided not that he's going to ideate that he's a woman, but he decided to have an affair with a man who ideates that he's a woman because those men have a hard time finding so-called heterosexual intimate partners. So can you imagine? I, it's really, truth is stranger than fiction. That's why I had to put the word True Tales in the title of my memoir. So Ariel, we will hear from in a week or 10 days or so. Today, after I get through my little updates, we will hear Juliette Part 2. Yes, my Twitter. Yes. Oh, I love that song, I Feel Like a Natural Woman. And how dare they say that it's not a good song? It's been a good song since I was a teenager. Unbelievable. Truth is stranger than fiction. So my artifact today is my terrarium, which I refurbished with new moss and new asparagus fern. And I'll show you what the asparagus fern in it was looking like. It was all dead. I had allowed it to dry out. And so I'm leaving the roots in there. Maybe they'll grow back if I am attentive with water. And all of the moss in there look like that, so I had to take that out. But I'm going to put it outside. We have a light snow outside, and moss can tolerate low temperatures. And I'm going to see if I pat it down in some of the moss-friendly places outside, if it will reestablish. All right, so on to Juliette. Part 2. Now, Juliette is a new trans widow of just about 4 months with a 2-year-old. And it was a sudden thing in the evening after a weekend of the baby teething or something and not a lot of sleep. And Juliette's guy, whose pen name on this is Jack, comes to her with his computer and a what is that? Anyway, some uh, Word document. whenever whenever I say Word, I'm about to say WordPress, because of course that's my blog, utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com. But Jack came with a Word document on the computer screen telling her that actually he realizes he's a woman and they have to start this process. And very much like the attitude that Nettie had, which is that even though he might want to have a heterosexual relationship with a man now, after changes, that he will sacrifice that dream, to stay together as lesbians, which both Juliette and I knew right away that we're going to say no. No. Now, so I will just go ahead into Juliette Part 2. As you may recall, I wrote a few weeks ago about the night my husband Jack declared himself as a trans woman. A couple of weeks after that night, I attended a doctor's appointment with him. This was his first appointment with a medical doctor to get female hormones. The doctor is a general practitioner with special interest in gender care, which Juliette told me on our most recent Zoom call is advertised by all the posters on his office wall. He's young, perhaps mid-20s, probably fresh out of university. His office had several posters stating that he provides LGBTIQ plus health, especially transgender health. The doctor spoke to only Jack. Now, it isn't that the doctor asked her to wait in the waiting room. She was sitting next to Jack, her husband, who told the doctor that he had brought his wife along. He was probably hoping for the doctor to try to indoctrinate Juliette into her new lesbian so-called phase of life. But so she was sitting next to him, and the doctor is across the desk. Jack mentioned, I brought my wife, and mentioned that they do have a toddler. The doctor spoke to only Jack. Not once did he address me in any way. The doctor asked Jack about his family life and whether he had any children. I don't know why he asked. Jack had said I was his wife and that we have a 2-year-old son. Now, does this doctor, who's in his 20s, fresh out of medical school, have perhaps a hearing disability? Jack had said I was his wife and we have a 2-year-old son. This detail of his fatherhood and family responsibilities apparently didn't register with the doctor. There was no acknowledgement that I was even there. The fact that Jack said he'd only felt like a woman for several weeks didn't bother the doctor. Jack wanted those hormones, and that's what mattered. The doctor was more than eager to give him the prescription. After all, their mantra is, if you think you are trans, then you are trans. It wasn't quick enough for Jack. The doctor wanted him to get a blood test and to confirm his baseline levels, probably of testosterone. Let's see how much estrogen we're going to have to give you to fight against your natural testosterone. He also suggested that Jack bank his sperm right in front of Juliette. The doctor says this. Perhaps Jack was hoping to walk out of that appointment with a script for hormones. After that, it was time to woman eyes. And I did check about one last detail, which was, did you ride home or walk home together? uh, was there a conversation after that? And she said, oh no, we each went off to our places of work. Now, after a story like this, I think it's always good to go down to the place where it says Utahegen and click on that, and then go up to the playlist menu and find my movements for well being, my wellness moves sequences, because you might want to roll down, roll around on the floor and work on your abs muscles, just to understand that you can absorb this story enough to tell someone, and you can also take care of yourself. Be well in mind and body always.